Hello everyone, it is Ethan with Pearlescent Detailing. Today I will be doing a base cleaning of the interior and exterior of a 2016 Subaru Forester. This car is a family member of mine and it has a wicked dirty roof. There's sap all over it just because of the trees that are around. There's bird poop on it from Lord knows where. Somehow there were spider webs on this car. What's being shown right now is the pre-rinse process, which is where I just have my hose and my water, no chemicals or anything, just so that way I can get that base dust, dirt, grime, and whatever off. So that way while I'm washing, there's less chance of scratches to be happened on the paint. But with this pre-rinse process, I kind of feel like a scrub just holding a garden hose and just going at it. Like, honestly, a pressure washer is a must-have, and I really want to get that. That's one big plan for my future, to step up to actually be able to call myself a detailer. But I've definitely got plans to get clients, whether it be around my neighborhood, whether it be friends, whether it be family, whether it be coworkers. I'm just really going to try and put my name out there and try and actually make this into more of a career and less of a pastime. And with that comes with buying the better equipment and putting more chemicals in my roster, because I don't really have that much. Like, I wouldn't be able to give every service that, say, a shop would. But with more jobs and more cash flow coming into my pockets, I'll be able to build up my arsenal. And I definitely have plans of getting an iron remover so that way I can work on these tires better, because all I really have is all-purpose cleaner and a degreaser, which can do like a decent job, but I definitely want to improve. Now we're onto the wash process, where I will be using my hose once again, but I'm also using the 2-bucket wash method with my sponge, where I will have one bucket which is for the dirty side of things, where I've washed it down with the sponge, and then I dip it in, wring it out, all that dirt and grime is gone. But I'm cleaning with Chemical Guy's Mr. Pink. This product is pH balanced, so it's not going to mess with any of the protection that is on this car, and it's not going to mess with any of the paint. I'm lightly applying the sponge, so that way I have little to no risk of scratching the paint at all. Little businessman came to join. Whoa. He's ready to clean. Clean. Bro's a naturally born cleaner. He wants to get down now. Now, with me trying to become a detailer, I do have quite a bit of knowledge. I've spent a lot of time watching videos on YouTube, all that. But if y'all have any feedback for me in the comments on my process or things that I could do better, like one thing that I noticed while watching my footage back was that I need to figure out a process for myself. Sometimes I kind of go around aimlessly around the car. I think that I should start from the top down, just so that way I don't bring dirt from the bottom to the top bits. That's one thing that I definitely noticed. And also with my camera, I'm already looking into videos to try and improve that. I use a Panasonic Lumix G7 for those that are wondering. I have no lenses, it's all stock, all that. But I learned from one of my coworkers that an MD filter is a really good idea to buy it. And I kind of looked into it. Some people described it as sunglasses for the camera, so you can kind of make it to where the sky doesn't get overexposed, the colors kind of get a little bit vibrant, it seems like, from what I've seen. That's the way I describe it. That'll all come with time. I don't want to invest too much money when I'm just starting out. Still got to be financially responsible. Along with buying more equipment for detailing and more chemicals, all that, like I mentioned before in the pre-rinse, I definitely think I need to get an SD card sooner rather than later, because mid-recording, the SD card legit filled up, and luckily it was right once I was about to end the clip anyways, but that could have been disastrous. Here, I am trying to use Chemical Guy's Butter Wet Car Wax to try and remove sap off of the car, because there's just sap everywhere, all over this car. But the sap was so deep in, and it's probably been there for months, that it just didn't come out. I've used this on my personal car, and it has worked before. And Chemical Guys has a YouTube video on how to get sap out with this if you'd like to check it out. But honestly, I'm gonna have to get something that is more strong of a chemical to be able to remove this sap on this car at a later date. Sometimes you fail, but it's all about getting back up and facing that challenge again and not letting the failure stop you in your tracks. You gotta be able to face your demons sometimes, you know? Get that sap another day. I'm really just taking the trash out right now, taking out some of the things that the person didn't want in there, all that, and they can put back in whatever they really wanted in the car to stay in the first place. Now, believe it or not, interiors are actually my specialty when it comes to detailing, because last summer I was doing job after job working on interiors only, and that's actually where I experienced my first rejection and exceptions from people outside of my family. I only got rejected once, and it was kind of just the person ghosted me after I said that I didn't do exteriors, which is like, what can I do? But there were plenty of positive experiences where I got to learn how to work on people's leather, and pet hair removal. That was a big one. Pet hair removal was crazy. Now we've moved on to the vacuuming process, and this car was, not gonna lie, in dire need of it, because as you could see from the exterior, there's a lot of pine trees on the outside. You could see in the driveway, pine needles everywhere. So every single time this person walks into the car, they're just gonna track in pine needles if they don't friggin' clap out their shoes before they start applying their foot to the pedal. As you'll be able to see, I do kind of get those stuck pine needles out with a metal wire brush. It's honestly not my first choice, but it's what I have right now. Ideally, I would get like a pet hair removal brush, which is more easygoing on the carpet, so that way it doesn't have potential frays. I've never noticeably seen frays in carpets when I'm working with this wire brush, but I'm sure that maybe once I get into double digits of working with the car, that it might get messed up. So yeah, another piece of equipment to add to the shopping list. Now, after the vacuuming is done, I'm moving on to the brushing and stain removal process, because they weren't really deep stains. I wouldn't need to work too hard on them, so I was like, I'll just do it, I'll throw it in. And then the brushing, that just comes standard with an interior. In this car, I've done it before too, so there wasn't really all too much to get. With this, I've kind of learned that I need to kind of use more angles, like when I'm working on the cup holders, have it focused on the cup holder. When I'm working on the center console, have it worked on the center console. On the stick shift, yada yada yada, you get the deal. But I guess I was just more focused on getting the detail done than getting the shots. It's all a learning experience at the end of the day. Coming to the final step in this detail, you could argue that this is an exterior part, but I'd consider it interior because you have to open the doors. You don't see it from the outside. I'm steam cleaning them door jambs because you got to make sure that when you open the door, it still looks good too. And not gonna lie, the steam cleaner is one of my favorite machines because it just makes every other process so much easier. Whether it's wiping that grime off the door jamb, or if you have a tough stain in there, it makes it so much easier to extract. And honestly, it's just fun. This detail only took me about 2.5 hours to do. I probably could have done it faster, but I was also recording myself detailing for the first time, which took a few seconds, not gonna lie. Like planning all the shots that I was going to take, the angles, moving the camera back and forth. Also, not really trusting my wet gloves, taking one glove off just to press the button because I didn't want water to get into my camera, stuff like that. But during this detail, you can kind of see like a time shift, like it's pretty dark right now because I started like kind of late in the afternoon, and then I had a 30-minute interruption by the person who owns this vehicle, so I had to speak with them about it. It wasn't anything about the detail, it was other stuff that had to be tended to. Life problems. Life gets in the way sometimes. Hope you enjoyed this detailing video that I made for y'all. It's only gonna go up from here, so feel free to leave a subscription if you really did enjoy and trust my process. Stay clean. See you in the next video.